Hello and welcome to my first video on Microsoft Visual Basic.net. My name is Aditya Dhar and I'm currently in high school. I have years of programming experience and out of all the languages I've done, Visual Basic is by far my favorite. In this series of videos, I'll be going through the basics of Visual Basic. In the first couple of videos, we'll be learning about the simple things like what is a variable and stuff like that. Then we'll move on to actual programming. First with the console, then with Windows Forms, and then so on. Visual Basic.net is a wonderful and very powerful language made by Microsoft. Programming in Visual Basic uses the .NET framework. Some of you may already be familiar with the .NET framework, but for beginners, the .NET framework was designed by Microsoft to make coding easier for the developer. .NET framework is not dependent on the system. It is very effective and it supports many languages. Most Windows versions come pre-installed with the latest .NET framework and is constantly updated. A programming language allows developers to tell the computer what to do. Visual Basic is usually coded in the Visual Studio IDE. There are a couple of different types of programs you can create in Visual Basic. Here is a list of them. We'll go through each one of them individually. First, we have the Windows Forms application. You can drag and drop objects from the toolbox, such as a button, and place it on your form. And you can also change properties of that button by going to the Properties window. In the Properties window, you can change something such as the text property. Let's change it to something like hello. If you look back at the button now, it now says hello as well. A good example of a Windows Forms application would be this password manager that I coded in Visual Basic. As you can see, this was entirely created using the elementary objects that are found in the toolbox for Windows Forms. If you put work into your project, it'll look like this as well. Next, we have the console application. The console application is essentially code for displaying text on a command line output. So for example, this code would run and turn into this. It is very useful for things like a very simple calculator or simple things that only require text. Next one is WPF applications. WPF is essentially Windows Forms on steroids. WPF stands for Windows Presentation Foundation, and it is essentially a rendering engine for the form. As you can see, a button has been completely turned around, and this stuff can never happen on Windows Forms. And as you can see, it is really complicated because look at that code on the bottom for designing that form. However, even though it's complicated, you can make great things with WPF. For example, if you look at the Properties window, you can see that it's a lot more professional looking and has a lot more features to it. The class library. Class library is kind of complicated to explain right now, but essentially it's a file with a bunch of mini programs that you can call into your main program and use during its runtime. And you can use it in any application as well as long as you coded it. Next, you must be thinking by now, how do I install Visual Studio? Well, that's pretty simple. Simply go to your Start menu and click on your favorite web browser. I'm going to go click on Google Chrome. Once you're on your favorite web browser, simply go to Google Search. From here, go ahead and search up Visual Studio. And then click on the first option that comes up. Next, go to Downloads and All Downloads. Once there, scroll down until you find Express 2013 for Windows Desktop. Next, download it and then install it on your computer. Installation should take about an hour or two. depending on your computer. I'm not going to install it since I already have it on my computer. And that's it for this introduction video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and my next video will be out soon. Thank you for watching.